I've never done drag before, so I'm new at this. But be honest, do I make a good Reba?
That's hysterical. Love the beard, the mustache, everything. That's a different Reba, but you captured it just right there. That's too funny.
She could go out on stage and sing Fancy?
Absolutely.
All right. I'm going to take that. What do you remember about the photo shoot and that whole look for the cover of Rumor Has It?
I don't remember much about the photo shoot except it was Sandy Spica who did my clothes and my hair back in the late 80s and 90s. And then all the way up until I went to do Annie Get Your Gun in 2001. She did my clothes, my hair, and it was her idea to do the ripoff, inspired by, whatever you want to call it, of the Barbra Streisand photo shoot album cover. And so we did that and everybody loved it. Of course, it was the last setup of the day because she had worked 2 hours on all this hair. And then, of course, we had to put it underneath that little scarf and the hat. So it was the last shoot of the day, last setup, and everybody loved it.
You say everybody loved it, but why do I feel like the gay men out there might have loved it more than the general public?
Well, at first I was just talking about the record label and my team to choose it for the album cover I thought was a big step, big move. And then, my gay audience, they really loved it.
Not surprised. When you go to Walmart, like you did to show your Twitter followers the Rumor Has It vinyl the other day, well, first of all, do you always go out to Walmart looking like yourself?
No, we just popped in just to visit the record department and sign a few albums. They were ripping the vinyl, the plastic off of the record cover, and I was signing some. And it was fun. It was fun to pop in and kind of make a little surprise appearance and then leave.
So you went there expecting to be noticed as Reba?
Yeah, because I had my mask on.
Yeah, that's true. You're right. Yeah. When you go as yourself, do people actually believe it's you, or do they think they're getting a Reba lookalike?
Who's this?
No, pretty much they go right for it, especially when I talk.
It's the voice.
They might look, and if I say something, then they go, I knew it was you.
Are you saying no drag queen could duplicate that voice?
Some have gotten real close.
She said, here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. She said, here's your one chance, Fancy, don't let me down. Mama, that a little bit of perfume on my neck, then she kissed my cheek. And then I saw the tears welling up in her troubled eyes as she started to speak.
It's been 30 years since Fancy was released. And by the time it was released in 1990, you already had a fairly devoted LGBTQ following. But with Fancy, is that when you knew you were a gay icon?
If I wasn't sure, I was definitely sure after I released Fancy, yes. I don't really have any reason to think that I had a big gay following before that, but I do remember, I think I did, but it increased a lot by the time Fancy got out, and then the clothes changes and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, the drag queens, right? Like Fancy, there was a whole drag explosion because of the song. Is that what you're referring to?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
For your gay fans, hearing Fancy at a gay bar after midnight was sort of just another day. Do you have any memories of hearing Fancy at a gay bar yourself?
No. Can't say I have.
I feel like you've missed out. These 30 years have gone by, and not one time have you stepped into a gay bar and heard Fancy?
I'm going to have to make that happen.
Not now, because it's a pandemic, but post-pandemic. What have the drag queens who've done Fancy, including Kennedy Davenport and Ms. Cracker's lip sync for their lives during the RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars, get wrong and right when they're performing that song?
Anytime I have seen on television or YouTube anybody doing Fancy and drag, I am in awe of their makeup and the time that they have spent to get all dolled up and just look fantastic. Anybody who can sing that whole song, in heels and the outfits that they wear, hey, I'm applauding. There's not going to be any criticism from me at all.
Yeah, there's a lot that happens in the face. I watched when you drop the dress at the CMAs, and a lot happens in the face. It's a lot of acting. It requires a lot of acting.
Oh, attitude.
And attitude.
Lots of attitude.
Well, drag queens have that.
You bet.
Yeah.
I do know this, that they get my hand motions down pat and the way I stand, and it's just very flattering. I love it.
I've talked to you twice in the past about LGBTQ issues. Both of our conversations, one was about marriage equality, and you came out in support of it, and it was a big moment. I remember seeing the headlines that Reba McEntire says, everybody deserves marriage rights, no matter what their sexual orientation was. And you illustrated it with a couple of friends of yours. I am wondering, do you think that maybe you've been able to be a kind of a bridge between the LGBTQ community and the conservative community who had or have trouble embracing our community, the LGBTQ community?
Maybe. I haven't asked. I'm not the type of person who forces my views and my opinions on other people when they are so adamant about it, but I am a person that will discuss it and say why I am the way I am, and why I walk Nathan and Justin down the aisle. It's all because of love. It has nothing to do with basically anything else except those two boys I love with all my heart, and I wanted to be there for them. Mm-hmm. And if we just love each other and quit judging, I think this world would be a lot better place. It's not my job to judge. I don't want that job at all. I just want to love people.
When you have conversations, private conversations, like you were saying, with friends who might be conservative or not agree that gay people should have the right to marry, is that what you tell them?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
I wanted to know if you have heard Orville Peck's version of Fancy and what you thought of the version. Also, what you think of him and his contribution to country music as an out gay artist.
I loved his version of Fancy. I thought it was different. I liked how he kept the music, the production, real low until the end of the song. Then it got real big. I was expecting it earlier, so that was a great surprise. I've just gotten introduced to him because of his remake of Fancy. And so I'm not that familiar with him to answer the second part of your question.
Yeah, that's fair. He just did a video with Shania Twain.
No kidding.
Yeah,
I have to get that.
Because basically I saw it and I was like, okay, now Shania's got Orville. Now I want Reba to collaborate with Orville. So I guess if I asked you, have you ever seen his face? You've never seen his face then, right? Because he's famous for wearing his mask. The
mask, yeah, the long fringe mask, yeah.
While we're on the topic of out country artists, and I can't even believe that I can say that. You remember a time when we were talking a few times ago, like it wasn't even possible to say out country artist. There was a time, and I'm sure you remember a time, right?
Sure, I do. I absolutely do.
What do you think the shift was? Why do you think that there's been?
I don't even know when it happened. I don't know when the shift happened, but I don't know.
Yeah. Well, Lil Nas, right?
Uh-huh.
What do you think is the significance of him being the first openly gay black artist to win a CMA award for Old Town Road?
See, here's the deal. You're putting more emphasis on him being gay. Mm-hmm. To me, I looked right past that. Mm-hmm. I saw he was a very talented young man who had a vision about this song, and he pursued it, and it turned into a huge thing. I respected him for that. That he's gay, that didn't change my mind to how much I admired him for pursuing his dream.
Yeah. Yeah, I guess in an industry where it has felt that it's difficult for a gay person to break through. I mean, gosh, and a black person for that matter. On my end, it seems like a big deal, right?
Yeah, I can see why.
Right.
But
Like,
it's kind of like I don't judge the book by the cover. You got to know the person. And if I don't know the person, I'm taking the information I can get, talent, ambition, perseverance, a gift. I'm going with that.
have you met Lil Nas?
I haven't, but I know Billy Ray. And
Yeah.
so I've looked and seen a lot of things about him on different stories. I think it was a Sunday morning program that I learned more about him. I can't remember who was interviewing, but total admiration for him doing that.
Yeah, he broke some big records, right?
He sure did. Good for him.
I know you're everything happens for a reason person, and I was thinking about that because of what is happening to all of us in some way, shape, or form right now. We're all sort of going through our own challenges with the pandemic, and thinking about what you've said, what you sort of lean on, which is that everything happens for a reason. What do you believe is the reason for what is happening to us right now? Have you thought about that?
I've got different philosophies. Sometimes when things happen to me, like when I broke my leg skiing in 96, I always thought that was God's way of saying, hey, slow down. You're going way too fast. Not only skiing, but in life in general.
To end, since we're here for Rumor Has It, what have been some of the craziest rumors you've read about yourself?
Well, there was one out just this past week about everybody up in arms about me investing in a CBD store or company or something. Well, I've never done that. And then somebody was telling me, well, I saw it. Here it is. And I didn't do that. And then another friend in another part of the country sent it to me and said, did you do this? I can't believe. Well, if I did, but I did not invest in a CBD company. So I don't know how people get away with making out. And there was a lot of very famous entertainers in this article that said, Reba's turned me on to this CBD. I am just so thrilled. Garth Brooks being one of them. So I don't see how they get away with it.
So you're not having CBD gummies with Garth. That's never happened.
No.
Oh, that's funny. Well, we'll nip that one in the bud.
Okay, thanks. I need all the help I can get.
Well, it was great to talk to you, Reba.
Good talking to you too. You stay well, stay healthy, stay well, be safe, and hope we get to talk soon in person or over the phone, whatever. I enjoy visiting with you.